Greetings and welcome to the results video for our pick a card for the week of January 12th through January 18th. You are to select from card group number 1, card group number 2, or card group number 3. Look at my jewelry, y'all. Okay, anyway. So make sure you comment your card selection by Monday, January 13th. If you want to be in the running to win our January giveaway, every week that you comment your card selection, you are automatically entered to win our giveaway for the month. And so every week that I do a pick a card reading, however many weeks there are in that particular month, or however many Sundays, because these post on Sundays, however many Sundays there are, that is how many times your name can be entered to win. So that actually increases your chances of winning. So you want to make sure you comment every Monday after I post the video on Sunday. So this week you have until Monday, January 13th to comment your card selection. Now I have 3 things that everybody should be doing right now. Number 1, resolution power, y'all. Resolution power. Open enrollment has begun. Now, Resolution Power is my masterclass, my annual masterclass that I do on how to create resolutions that actually manifest. Resolutions are not wishes. They are not goals. They are very, very powerful. And when you know exactly what a resolution is and how to create real resolutions, they will indeed manifest for you. And so I want to teach you how to do that in my my masterclass called Resolution Power. That link is down below. The open enrollment for that will only be open for enrollment for this week, the 12th through the 18th. And so if you miss it, you miss it. But you definitely want to get that because it's 2 powerful master classes plus some additional bonus material and just so many amazing things that I have in there to guide you step by step on creating real resolutions that manifest. And I actually share some personal stories from my own life when I created resolutions that manifested very, very quickly. So I want to teach you all how to do that. And that is truly an investment in yourself. It's not really an expensive masterclass. You can click the link down below to get all of the information. But you know, it's really just about you doing the work in order to have to apply the lessons into your life. And so I highly encourage that you get resolution power. Don't sleep on your dreams and don't sleep on your potential, which leads me into my annual reading of the year. This is the second thing you need to do. If you missed it, I did a Facebook live video back on January 5th of my annual reading of the year. And the reading of the year is where I go through all of the astrology of the upcoming year, which in this case is 2020. So I went through all of the astrology, everything that's happening from, eclipses to every Mercury retrograde of 2020. And I also pulled cards, some oracle cards, tarot cards, for that as well, to give us all guidance and clarity on what we all need to know, do, and be aware of for the year of 2020. And I will share this here. The theme for 2020, the overall theme that came to me for this year is dealing with discipline and structure and order, and constantly being able to transform chaos into structure and order. And this year will definitely, those who know how to do that will be the ones who will find themselves in a lovely position this year. So I go into extreme amounts of detail in that video. It was only supposed to be like 30 minutes to an hour, but because I was filming live and I had an audience in front of me and I had people watching online, it actually ended up being about 2 hours long. So it's super detailed and it's free to watch. I just transferred it over to YouTube. And so that link is down below. But make sure you follow me also on Facebook, on my Facebook page, Tonya Poole Enterprises, because that's often where I film live videos. And then you can also follow me on Instagram at the Tonya Poole. All right, so Number 3, the third thing you need to do right now is click below for my video, Everybody's the Capricorn, including you. Every season, I go through every sign, every time we enter into a new zodiac sign, and I explain how what that sign is meaning for us all. So currently we are in the sign of Capricorn. So it doesn't matter what sun sign you are. You can be a Libra, you can be a Taurus, you can be a Leo. It doesn't matter. You are in Capricorn season right now, so Capricorn is the sign that is teaching us all lessons. So in that video, Everybody's a Capricorn, including you. The first half of that video, I go into detail explaining what Capricorn energy is like and how all of us are being impacted right now. And then the second half, I go into every sign from Aries all the way through Pisces, explaining what each zodiac sign should be doing right now during Capricorn season. So you want to watch that and heed the wisdom there, because each sign builds upon each other. So while we're in Capricorn season, we are actually being prepared for the next sign, which is Aquarius season. And every time we enter into a new zodiac sign, like I said, I actually do a new video. So you want to make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you're notified when the next Everybody's sign, including you, video is uploaded. So the next one will be Everybody's in Aquarius, including you, which will be released later this month. So those are the 3 things that you need to do. Make sure, again, that you subscribe to this channel so that you are notified whenever new videos are released. Also, click one of the links down below to purchase my book, The Magic of Self-Love, to book a personal reading, and to leave a love offering, also known as a donation. If these videos and my channel is supporting you in any kind of way, then I would love to receive that love in return, that appreciation in return, in the form of a love offering or a donation in support of this complimentary work that I do here on YouTube. And so that is it for my announcements and the 3 things that you should really be doing right now. So our opening intuitive message this week, y'all. All right, so this week, as I was thinking about this particular pick-a card, what kept coming to mind was the annual reading of the year that I just did, which I just mentioned a few moments ago, and you can find that link down below. But the annual reading of the year, I really shared how 2020, yes, it's a new year, and yes, you know, all of the exciting things that we think about when we think about a new year are being offered to us. But the thing about each new year is it comes with its own kind of energy that we are required to, or encouraged to, I should say, align to or evolve to, right? And this year, 2020, is really all about helping us to step into our own leadership power and teaching us the value of structure and the value of showing up every day and doing the work and being disciplined and having order to our lives. And that having order isn't meaning that we are, you know, we can't have fun or we can't allow things to just flow. Having order actually creates the structures that allows the goodness that we want to flow to us. And in the annual reading of the year, I gave the example of how when you look at a river and you look at how it's flowing, it is flowing within a structure. The ground that is around it, that is on the side, the banks, the river banks, I guess it is, on the side of the river is what is creating the structure so that the river can flow. Or even when we look at a funnel, Have you ever like had a funnel where you had to pour water through the funnel so that the water could go into a particular bottle or jug or whatever that you have, and it keeps the water from being spilled all over the place. It keeps it contained so it goes and flows in the direction that you want it to go and flow in. And so likewise, that 2020 is that kind of year. The people who know how to build structures in their lives that create a flow of abundance, a flow of good health, a flow of joy, a flow of wealth, whatever it is that you, whoever is wanting, will be the ones who actually experience that kind of abundance. But structure takes discipline. Structure takes order. Structure takes learning how to say no and creating healthy boundaries. Actually, that's what structures are designed to do. Even when you think about the structure of your house, it is a physical structure that allows you to have a place, hopefully a safe place to rest your head at night, to keep you protected from the elements, and whatnot. And so it's a structure that serves a purpose, but building that structure required discipline. It required order, had to be very strategic. You couldn't just throw the house up any kind of way, and it actually, in order to build a house, for example, there had to be plans. There had to be a strategy. There had to be, even preparing the ground upon which the house would be built, and then building a foundation. And, the builders hopefully didn't just go and throw some materials up and say, hey, here's a house, you want to purchase it for $250,000 whatever. No, the structure had to be sound. It had to be built by competent builders. That they had to build with you in mind. They had to build with the knowledge that a person would live in that home and would need that home to be a safe place where the roof doesn't cave in, the floor doesn't cave in, the walls don't topple over. It had to be a solid, sound structure that could withstand hopefully even a hurricane, right? Or a powerful storm. So likewise, this year we are highly encouraged to create structures, and creating them requires discipline. And discipline is not always fun, but discipline is required, and it's that discipline that creates the flow that we all want. And so with this particular pick a card reading, it's an extension of the annual reading of the year, because now we need to know, all right, now that we got the information that was shared in the reading of the year, now we need to know, well, how do we need to humble ourselves and discipline ourselves so that we can have the outcomes that we want. And it's very important that you know the outcomes that you want. Otherwise, you won't know how to discipline yourself. You won't know how to humble yourself. You won't know who to ask for help and guidance and wisdom and assistance, because you're just kind of floating and all over the place. So this is a time when yes, we want to, maintain a sense of creativity, and, there does have to be some sense of flow so that we can explore the things that we want. But then we do have to get we do have to get clear about what we want and desire and the outcomes that we want, so that we know what structures in our lives need to be built, so we know how to humble ourselves, so we know what is required of us, so that we know how to discipline ourselves, so that we can, have the outcomes that we want. So let's just say you have an outcome where you want to run in one of those marathons, that those like a 10K or something that they have, those annual run marathons every year that they typically do for charity and whatnot. Well, if that's an outcome that you want, what kind of discipline and structure and humility do you have to align to and adhere to now in order to have that outcome? Because I'm sure that means getting up and running at 5 a.m. and getting your body right and exercising and eating right and saying no to the wrong kinds of food and saying yes to the right amount of food and the right amount of sleep and water, finding a coach, humbling yourself and saying, hey, I've never done this before, so let me find a coach who can teach me. And so, and then it's through doing all of that that you have the outcomes that you want. So, yeah, so that is it for our opening intuitive message. Make sure that you come back and listen to this message throughout the week, because something that I said here might make more sense to you later on throughout the week, or even next week, to be honest with you, or next month. So make sure that you come back and listen to this as often as you need to. And so that is it. So we're going to go ahead and get into our pick a cards, pick a card reveals. Again, make sure that you comment your card selection by January 13th on Monday in order to win our January pick a card giveaway. So that is it. So card group number 1, your reading is up next. All right, so here are the results for card group number 1. Before I get into it, I will just quickly go over the announcements for those of you who maybe skipped ahead. Make sure you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because as always, it is very relevant to what will be revealed here. Make sure you do the 3 things that I asked you to do, or that will be in your best interest to do, which is number 1, click the link down below to enroll in Resolution Power. Open enrollment is happening right now for my masterclass, Resolution Power, which is designed to help you to create real resolutions that actually manifest. Resolutions are real. And the reason why they don't often manifest for a lot of people is because they're not actually creating real resolutions. So I teach you how to create real resolutions that actually manifest. That open enrollment is going on this entire week, January 12th through January 18th. So the enrollment is only open up for 1 week, and then after that it closes. So you want to make sure that you get that masterclass while you can. Also, go and listen to my annual reading of the year. That link is down below, where I share all of the astrology for the year 2020 and what we almost need to know and do and be aware of for this entire year. You want to already be on point. What's the saying? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So the annual reading of the year is designed to help you to stay ready for everything for 2020. That link is down below. And then also watch my video, Everybody's a Capricorn, including you. I go through each one of the zodiac signs and share what we all need to do and be aware of during Capricorn season, because we all carry all 12 signs of the zodiac in our birth charts. You are so much more than your sun sign. And so you want to make sure that you watch that. Get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, book a personal reading, and leave a love offering in support of this channel if this work is benefiting you in any kind of way. And then follow me also on Instagram and Facebook. Those links are down below as well. So this week, you received this gemstone, which actually is, I want to say it's actually a form of wood in some kind of way. I have to read more about it. I remember reading that somewhere. But anyway, this is jet, J-E-T. And jet is one of those stones that is really good for helping you. A lot of times people use it when they're trying to have successful business deals, or increase their income, or increase their career income, whether you have a business or you are working for someone, to increase your income, to really give you the insight that you need in order to show you how to negotiate properly and show you how to welcome in the financial abundance that you are desiring in your life. As far as like love, jet is sometimes used to help you find someone who is genuine and sincere, or to encourage those feelings of genuineness, is that a word? Genuineness and sincerity in your current relationship, or helping you to be more genuine and sincere. It helps with boosting your intuition, which is also good going back to the business and career, because sometimes you know, you don't, especially if you're about to take a risk or something in your career, you don't necessarily know exactly what to do, but it, you know, helps to boost your intuition, so then you can know what you need to do, and helps you to, you know, to stay abreast to any and all opportunities that are available to you now, so that you know which ones that are most beneficial to you. So you know what I always tell you to do. If you want to know more about this particular stone, make sure you Google jet. So, this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to knowing how to humble yourself and knowing how to discipline yourself so that you can have the outcomes and the successes that you desire for your life. And humility and discipline are very important. Sometimes people think it's all just about just doing things and work and whatnot, and that's a part of it, but humility and discipline are also very, very key. So the card that's on top of here comes from a goddess energy deck, and the goddesses speak to us all, whether we're a man or a woman. Whether we believe the goddesses actually existed or not doesn't matter. It's their stories that teach us the lessons that we need to know. So the goddess that is speaking to you this week is Bridget. The goddess Bridget. And as you see on here, it says creative spark, which is very interesting, because even in my opening intuitive message, as I talked about discipline and structure and creating healthy boundaries, I also talked about how that doesn't mean that your creativity has to be dampened just because you're creating more discipline and structure and order in your life. It's actually the discipline and structure and order coupled with balanced creativity that helps to create the outcomes that you desire. So I'm going to read two messages from Bridget. The first is her empowerment message, and then her alignment message, just in case you find yourself out of alignment with her empowerment message. So the empowerment message says, inspiration and imagination are yours to play with right now. You effortlessly connect to your inner creative spark and make meaningful and beautiful experiences for yourself and others. Take advantage of this fruitful time. When you are so in tune, it's like taking a magical trip to the land of the fairy, where all that glitters really is gold, and your life seems like a grand artistic gesture. The fiery Celtic goddess of creativity calls you to play in the artistry of your life, your work, and your loves. Bridget is whispering her sparkling music deep in your soul. Are you listening? So again, you know, her empowerment message is letting you know that your creativity right now is what's happening. You know, so if you are not, if you've been kind of hesitant to tap into your creative energy, you know, Bridget is reminding you that this is a good time to allow that creativity. That creativity is where your fruitfulness is. But again, this week, since we're talking about discipline, you know, are you being disciplined in your creativity? And are you being humble in your creativity? Meaning, you may be creative. Sometimes a lot of people who are creative, no matter what you create, we're all creative, you know, so no matter, you know, what, but when we're creative, sometimes we have a hard time humbling ourselves and allowing somebody who is more skilled in that creativity to teach us, because we're just trying to thrive on our creativity alone. So this may be a good week to find a mentor, somebody, or take a class, just, you know, connect with somebody who is more skillful in the area in which you are creative. Okay, so her alignment message says, sometimes you get into a creative slump and you feel frozen in midair, unable to move in any direction. Perhaps you are unsure of the next step and someone new, or a project becomes a looming behemoth in your mind, or you can't think of anything to say in a social moment. Maybe you think all your best ideas are gone. Bridget offers you the alignment task of moving your attention away and remembering what it was like when you were little, when you finger painted and drew stick figures and played with your pals in the sandbox or playground. What moved you and lit you up then is the same creative spark that can move you now. Playful curiosity is what's called for. Don't take yourself or your current conditions too seriously. It's time to be free from it's time to be free from the burden of expectation you've set upon yourself. Don't try so hard. The triple goddess of the hearth, the forge, and the inspiration brings all her aspects together to help you sparkle. So, those of you who, like I said just a minute ago, we're all creative. You don't have to necessarily be an artist or a musician. I know a lot of times those are the fields that, people look at as the most creative, but we're creative when we create, even when we create children, that is a moment of creativity. And it's so important that you don't, what I definitely know about creativity, and even in my own life, the times when I was most creative was the times when I didn't say it has to look like this, it has to be like this. I didn't make being creative so hard. Creativity is really like a spark. It really is. It's like you allow your mind to be free enough. You allow yourself to make mistakes. And out of that comes the creativity, comes the ideas, those creative ideas on what to do. So you might be looking for creative ideas on, what to do in your business, what to do in your career, what to do in your love life, what to do. And you in the effort of being disciplined and humbled and full of humility, you may be going at it too hard. And so just allow yourself to what do we say? What did I say in the opening intuitive message? I talked about creating structures that allow abundance to flow, allows creativity to flow. And so create those structures that allow your creative mind to flow. So even one way to do that could be putting it on your schedule. Just say, from 2 to 4 or from 6 to 8 or whatever will be my free time. That to just brainstorm and to be creative, or to take a class. I took a few classes recently on this platform called Skillshare. And it's like there's like a monthly subscription. I think you can sign up for the first month for free. But Skillshare is one of those things you can take different classes, just if you just want to learn something new. I mean, they had classes on, how to learn Adobe software. They had classes on cross stitching, what I mean? And they had videos, and you just watch it and and you just learn. And so those were classes, which classes are structured, but those structures created creative flow, allowed, creativity. So there might be something that you want to do, something like that, where you structure your schedule so that you can allow creative flow in your life. Or even some people, you may need to put on your schedule a time to reach out to potential mentors or people who know what you need to know, and to kind of have a brainstorm session with them. Or it's so many different ways to really look at this, but that's just my wisdom and advice to you this week. So what I always tell you to do. If you want to know more about this goddess, make sure you Google Bridget, because each of the goddesses have their own stories and mythology that provide deeper insights and wisdom for us. So the cards that we have here, the one on the bottom is where you are now, your general insight and wisdom. The card that crosses it lets you know what can help or hinder you at this time. So this card has been coming up a lot lately. I think it came up even in the reading of the year. The World, and it is crossed by the King of Swords. The World is crossed by the King of Swords. So when I see the world, I know that the whole world is in your hands. The world actually represents completion. Actually, it represents the outcome. It represents the end result. It represents, like if you went to school, like let's just say you were in high school for 9th through the 12th grade, and then it's graduation day. The world represents graduation day. It represents where you have accomplished something, and now you're ready to move on to the next level. So it's a really good card because it's like, on one hand, congratulating you for having done the work and achieved this particular destination, but it also is a card of excitement because it knows that something new, a new level, is about to start for you. So depending on who you are, because you're not the only one who selected card group number 1, so this could go several different ways. Perhaps you have completed something, maybe a term in school, or completing a certain level in your career, or just have reached some sort of zenith point in where you are, and now it's time to move to the next level. I mean, it really could just be, you've lived where you lived enough, and now it's time to move on, right? And so, you want to celebrate all of your achievements up until this point, and then prepare for the goodness that is to come. Prepare for your next level. Understand that you have grown so much to get to where you are, and now it's time to advance and to move on. And then for some of you, this is indicating that perhaps maybe you haven't reached that zenith point yet, but you're well on your way. And so you have to keep your end result in mind. Like, for example, like the example I just used, like going through the 9th through the 12th grade, you don't drop out the last semester of your senior year, right? You go ahead and complete it. And so for some of you, you may be feeling like you're coming towards an end point where a lot of long, hard work is culminating, or maybe you need to actually prepare what your end result should look like. So if you've been someone who has just kind of floated around a lot, and you haven't clearly identified your goals, clearly identified where you're trying to get to, then this is a good time to identify that for yourself and clearly, make it clear to yourself what that endpoint is for you. And I say that also because it's crossed by the King of Swords. And the King of Swords, this is a card of clarity. All of the Swords cards deal with anything in your mind, your mental activity, your thoughts, making decisions and whatnot. And so the King of Swords is definitely a powerful decision maker. He knows what he wants. He says what needs to be said. He does what needs to be done. And he is very clear in his thinking. He's not confused. He's not wishy-washy. He knows all of the pros and cons. He lays them out on the table, and then he makes clear choices and wise decisions. And when you think even about a king or any ruler, right? They usually also have a council to help them to make wise choices. So similar to, if we go back to the example of going through the 9th through the 12th grade, right? That student usually has some sort of guidance counselor or a teacher who's kind of guiding them, or their parents, or even if it's the not the syllabus, but the curriculum that lets you know what classes you need to take in order to get to your graduation. Basically, there's some sort of guiding principle to help you to make the choices and decisions that you need to make. So, in order for you to get to your world, in order for you to get to the type of conclusion, the type of success, the type of outcome that you're desiring, you need to make clear and wise choices and decisions at this time. And if you don't know what those are, then this is a good time to have a council of people around you. Find those wise people around you who can help you. But ultimately, the King of Swords, you, just like this King of Swords is indicating, you have to be the one to make the decision. Ultimately, it's the king who makes the decision. Even if he has a wise counsel around him, he can do, what he wants to do. So likewise in your own life, your choices are your choices to make. People can give you wisdom, guidance. People can, give you, what they would do if they were in your shoes. People could, give you the best wisdom and guidance that they know. But ultimately, it's your decision, and that means it is your responsibility. And what did I say in the opening intuitive message, as well as in the annual reading of the year? That this is a year where the responsible will win. And we are all encouraged to become more responsible. And so that is what is going to be required of you in order for you to have the type of outcomes that you are wanting for your life at this time. Let's see. So your wisdom card that you received this week, wow, is orphaned. Orphaned. So when I see this card, I know that it deals with feeling kind of out of place. Feeling, that light is really bright. Feeling out of place, feeling perhaps like you don't belong, or not knowing your place. And this could be in a lot of different ways, depending on, again, you're not the only one who selected card group number 1. But feeling out of place, feeling like, this could literally mean, that you have been orphaned, or, or this could mean, not knowing just where you belong, not knowing where you belong in your career, in your social group, in your, maybe you've tried so many different things and you just don't know where you fit. So I'm going to read what orphan, the wisdom that comes with this card. And it says, a sense of loss, an identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. We were all meant to have connections with other people within our family, society, and the larger culture. No man is an island, and it's important to recognize when being a part of rather than separate from is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. Perhaps you no longer identify with a group or community the way you did before and need to find a new situation. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. Wow. So, if I go back here, what I was saying with the King of Swords, making very, very, clear choices, being able to see, the King of Swords also has to see, where he doesn't belong. You have to see, you have to cut through the chaos and the confusion. And if you're stuck in this feeling of, I tried this and this didn't work. I moved here and that didn't work. I'm trying this and this, ask yourself, what is really the outcome that you were wanting for your life? Get very, very clear about, what does sitting on top of the world feel like to you? What would that feel like to sprout your butterfly wings and to really be in an empowered state? What does that look and feel like to you? Okay, so what choices and decisions, like this Knight of Swords is saying, do you have to make in order to have that kind of outcome? What do you need to do? Where do you need to go? Who do you need to talk to? What do you need to do and what do you not need to do? Or perhaps what do you need to stop doing? And so that you can find where you belong, so that you can find your home, so that you can not be so much just floating around trying to figure it out, but so that you can be more clear and no longer having that pressure, like Orphan said, having that pressure to force yourself to fit in. Be like what Bridget said, be very creative in your thinking instead of trying to force something to work that perhaps isn't working. Ask for or allow your creativity to flow, so that you can find new ways and new avenues for you to just to be all of who you are, and live your life as you are ultimately desiring to do so, and no longer try to just fit in where people say you should fit in, but that's why it's so important. I'm really feeling it strongly that some of you really have to be, this Knight of Swords and be very, very clear about what you want. You can't just want things without being stepping into the seat of responsibility to make the choices that will allow your truest desires to be made manifest in your life. And it's your responsibility. It's not anybody else's responsibility to do that for you. Okay. So that is the reading for this week, January the 12th through the 18th. Make sure you comment your card selection by Monday, January 13th, to be entered to win our January giveaway. Click all of the links below for your resolution power, to watch the annual reading of the year, to watch Everybody's a Capricorn, including you, and to purchase, book your readings, to leave a love offering, and get the magic of self-love. And so that is it for your reading this week. Thank you all so much for watching. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Greetings and welcome to the results for card group number 2. I want to go over quickly the announcements just in case you were one of the ones who skipped ahead. Make sure that you go back and listen to my opening intuitive message, because what I share in that message will greatly help you to have a deeper understanding of what I reveal here. Make sure that you comment your card selection by Monday, January 13th, in order to be entered to win our January giveaway. Each week that you do that, your name is added an additional time into the hat, which increases your chances of winning. Make sure you do the 3 things that I asked you to do, or that I encourage you to do. The first one is to click the link down below to enroll for Resolution Power. Resolution Power is my masterclass that helps you to create real resolutions that actually manifest. The reason why so many people don't create resolutions, because when they try to, they don't manifest, and it's because they're not creating real resolutions. So I teach you how to create real resolutions that actually manifest. And that masterclass, or the enrollment for Resolution Power, is open January 12th through the 18th, this entire week. And then once it closes, it closes. So you want to make sure that you get in that masterclass this week. Also, the second thing is to go and watch my reading of the year. Every January, I do an annual reading of the year where I look at what we almost need to know, do, and be aware of for the entire year. And I use astrology as well as oracle cards and my own intuition to do that. And so that was filmed live on Facebook last week, and I just uploaded it to YouTube. So that link is down below. And then lastly, make sure that you watch my video, Everybody's a Capricorn, including you. No matter what your sun sign is, we are all in Capricorn season. So Capricorn is teaching us all lessons right now. So in that video, I discuss what Capricorn energy is, and then I go through all of the signs, Aries to Pisces, to share what we all need to be doing now during Capricorn season. Click the link to book a personal reading, get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to support this channel by giving a love offering or a donation. If this complimentary work that I do on YouTube is benefiting you in any kind of way. And then also subscribe to this channel so that you're notified whenever new videos are uploaded. And then click the links to follow on Facebook and Instagram. All right, so that is it for those announcements. This stone here, I strongly believe, and y'all can comment down below if you know better, if you know what it really is, but I strongly believe that this is a moss agate. It has all of these little lines, and it's a very pretty green. This lighting, I don't know if it's really, let's see, maybe that's more helpful. This lighting may not be the best, but a moss agate is one of those stones that is really beneficial for helping to remove any negative energy. Is also one of those stones that is really good for calming anxiety, calming your mind, and helping to bring balance and healthiness to your mind. I don't know what lighting is best. Okay, that's super bright. That's regular bright. See, if we were live, y'all could tell me, like, no, do the other lighting. Anyway, so it helps to boost your creativity. It helps you to bring clarity to your purpose and to know what your purpose is. And also, with it being green, obviously, it can also help with financial abundance and love. And love and financial abundance oftentimes are very much on the same kind of frequency. So it's boosting that love energy, boosting that financial energy as well, and helping you to know what is best for you in those areas of your life. And so, you know what I always tell you to do? If you want to know more about this stone, make sure that you Google moss agate. All right. So the card that I have on top of here comes from a goddess energy deck, and the goddesses speak to us all, whether we are a man or a woman, and whether we believe in them or not, whether you believe they actually existed or not is not really important. It's about understanding that their stories teach lessons that could be beneficial to us all. And so this week we are looking at what we all most need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to humbling ourselves and finding the discipline for ourselves in order to have the outcomes and the successes that we desire for ourselves. So the goddess that chose to speak up to you on this topic this week. Okay. Oh, now y'all know I don't flip these cards over until the camera is rolling. And I used to know how to say her name, and now I cannot remember. And I hate mispronouncing the goddesses' names. Minosine? Oh my gosh. Oh, I apologize for this. But y'all understand. And she represents the past. It's funny because I'm thinking about how I even had somebody to tell me how to say her name a couple of months ago, and now I cannot, it's not even coming to my brain. So anyway, this amazing goddess deals with the past and understanding how the past is showing up in your present. Are you someone who is living in the past and can't get beyond just the good old days, or somebody who's living in the past in terms of, what happened to you in the past, and you can't overcome it and heal from it, and so it's still showing up in your present, and then designing your future. The past helps to create the present, but it's in your present moment that you design the future. And so let's read. I'm going to read what this goddess has to say, the wisdom that she shares. I will read two messages. The first is her empowerment message, and then the second is her alignment message. So her empowerment message says, there are certain moments within your personal history that hold great treasure for you now. When you examine your memories, which are the domain of the Greek goddess Mnemosine, empowered wisdom is revealed. The lessons you find are like sacred talismans contained within your past, like fossils in amber. Right now, you can trust your instincts that if something brings to mind your past, it indeed has a kernel of the old in the new. This is an amazing opportunity to make informed choices and do things differently. This goddess has another powerful message for you. There are many choice points in life where you have the power to make beautiful changes and become more creative, empowered, and alive. Yes, sometimes memories that live in the cells of your body will trigger palpable fear, but you can move beyond your past to discover new territories, and a new vision of freedom will come to you. You won't see the past the same anymore. As wisdom replaces numb acceptance, the memories will change because you've changed. This freedom is gained by willingness and curiosity. Relationships become rich with potential, and all your natural choices will no longer fall into old patterns that are not serving you. This goddess wants you to experience the miracle. So her empowerment message is, the past empowers you to make wise choices in the present. You know, if you made really great choices in the past, then that's an encouragement to continue to make great choices right now in the present. If you've had challenges in the past, or you made poor choices in the past, or just things from your past were very traumatic or challenging, then she's encouraging you to learn from your past to empower you in the present. All right, so her alignment message says, our stories can hold us hostage to a past that no longer serves us. The goddess of memories, this goddess of memories reminds you that running away from powerful memories and pretending that wrongs haven't been committed does nothing to help you truly find meaning and purpose. Your alignment task is to stop and take inventory of the past and the stories that keep you tied to it and defined by it. She calls you to be rigorously honest about the areas in your life where you have been wounded, as well as where you may have wounded others. Dig deep to uncover your unconscious biases and triggers. Know that it may be a messy experience as you surrender to the truth that you can't control the outcome or other people's reactions when you are ready to make real shifts. The world is changing, and to be a part of its glorious unfolding, you are being invited to do this deep work. Miracles are waiting for you once you set yourself free and allow your memories of the past to lead you to the truth. Transformation comes with a price. Leaving some of your old self behind isn't easy, but it is necessary to become the one you have been waiting for. Summon your courage. The goddess Mnemosyne will help you. You will rise up from this mess, and only beauty and strength will remain. So this particular goddess is also challenging you, or saying that this is a time to really look at how your past is still showing up in your present, particularly the past that may be traumatic or triggering, and be prepared for to use that as a tool for transformation, and understand that some people will understand how you were growing and changing, and some won't, and some may not be ready for it, and that's okay. Remember that this is your work. This week, remember, we are looking at how to discipline and humble yourself, and so looking at how you have been hurt and triggered, and then also humbly looking at how you have perhaps hurt other people is very key right now. And because then what will follow is the discipline that's required, or the steps that are required for you to really heal from that, overcome all of that, and emerge brand new and more empowered, so that your past isn't still holding the puppet strings over you. Okay, and this could be, as far as like deep traumatic things, or this could be just, if you just made unwise choices. I mean, it doesn't have to be super deep or traumatic. It could just mean, if you have a pattern of thinking, or a pattern of behavior, or a pattern of not, taking care of yourself, or whatever in the past, what is causing that. And this is the time to really overcome that, so that your past is not controlling your future. So, what I always tell you to do, if you want to know more about this goddess, make sure you Google her. All of the goddesses have their own mythology and stories that help us they serve as lessons, basically, to help serve us in our own lives. So the card that you have on the bottom here is where you are now and your general wisdom and insight. The card that crosses it lets you know what can help or hinder you at this time. And so you receive the Page of Pentacles, and it is crossed by the Eight of Swords. The Page of Pentacles, and it is crossed by the Eight of Swords. Okay. So, the Page of Pentacles is one of those cards of in some ways starting new. A lot of times when people see the pentacles, they immediately think money, and a lot of times money can be connected to the pentacles. But with it being the Page of Pentacles, that means, perhaps starting a new career, starting a new business, starting a new endeavor, starting or being open to a new way that allows prosperity or abundance or just an increase in some kind of way to flow to you. Anytime I see the pages, I know that that is new wisdom, that is you're in a new phase, or you don't know as much as you could or should. No, I don't want to say should, because it's not about what you should know. It's usually like, it's bringing to mind like when you first start middle school and you're coming out of elementary school and you're on a new level and you've never been in middle school before, and you have new requirements and new you're required to grow up a little bit, and that's what life is about. Every time we complete a cycle, then we're taken to the next level, and when we get to the next level, we don't know what we're doing. We have to kind of grow into it. And so the Page of Pentacles is like preparing for the abundance or financial prosperity or the new phase of your life that you are perhaps getting ready to walk into. But you don't know all of the answers. You don't know which way you should go. And so you might be tempted to go back into your past and look at how things have been done before. But the Page of Pentacles is like, no, darling, this is the time to prepare and strategize for what is to come. This is the time to, if you don't know how to prepare and to strategize, to find the person that can help and assist you. And that's going to be very important because it's crossed by the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is a card of mental imprisonment. It's a card of one of the cards that I say kind of makes me think of the analysis paralysis, where you're overthinking so much that you can't move forward. And that might even be more of a Nine of Swords kind of thing. But the Eight of Swords really can be a mental paralysis, or, it's like if you think about all of the ways in which things have gone wrong before, then it's like you're put in an imprisonment, a mental imprisonment that keeps you from moving ahead. So if you even look at this card, look at her. It almost looks like a jail cell, the way these swords are lined up and crossing her. She cannot move forward. But, like this goddess here said, not allowing your past to keep you and block you from the to keep you and block you and lock you and keep you trapped in the past, but to use the past as a learning tool or a guide for how to or how not to move forward right now in the present. And so this, having this Page of Pentacles is very inspiring, because the Page of Pentacles is like, it's new opportunity, there's new breakthrough. You don't know what you're doing, but it's a time to learn. It's a time to try, and not just try haphazardly, but to try strategically, to ask for help, to read the books you need to read, to get the guidance, to get the mentor, to get the, to humble yourself. Again, this week is all about humility. To humble yourself and say, hey, I really don't know what I'm doing. I know what I want, but I don't necessarily know how to get there. So the Page of Pentacles is like, okay, in order, you won't just get that outcome without preparing and strategizing for it. So this is the time to prepare and strategize, and you probably have to really prepare your mind. Prepare your mind. Start believing that it is possible for you to have the desires of your heart. Start believing that it is possible for you to have the outcomes that you desire. So you have to get out of this Eight of Swords mentality that keeps you stuck and stagnant, and held captive to the past, held captive to the way you messed up in the past, held captive to perhaps the failures that you had, or even the self-limiting beliefs. Because if somebody told you that you ain't going to do nothing, you ain't going to be nothing, you can't accomplish anything, and you actually believe that, then that could be what keeps you in the Eight of Swords energy. Or for some of you, it might just be downright laziness. Like you have all of this opportunity, like the Page of Pentacles is promising, but it's going to require work, because the Page of Pentacles understands that yes, this gold coin comes from doing the work. And again, this week is all about discipline, humility. And so you may have the potential, because Page of Pentacles is really representing the potential for abundant outcomes, but you know it's going to require work. You know it's going to require that you learn a new skill. Page of Pentacles, page being, you know, a youthful position that has to learn to do something new. So you know that you have to ask for help. You know you have to learn a new skill. You know you have to maybe do things outside of your comfort zone. You may be thinking that, you know, I've already learned enough to get to where I am, but life is all about continuing to learn and continuing to grow and expand. And so the Page of Pentacles is like, it's time for that. And if you don't want to put forth that energy, you don't have the discipline to do that, then it keeps you in this Eight of Swords, keeping you locked and away and blocked, and keeping your blessings blocked from flowing to you. But you have to have the discipline and the humility to say, no, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to do whatever is necessary for me to get to my next level. So the wisdom card that you receive, wow, is higher power. Higher power. And whenever I see this card, is really what it says. Higher power. Trusting in and knowing that you have a higher power that could be, you know, I don't know what that is for you, because, you know, you're not the only one who selected card group number 2, but, you know, God, the Most High, your higher self, you know, whatever it is that you appeal to, this is really the time to humble yourself and do that. So higher power says, conscious contact with a higher power, the presence of the divine, seeing source energy in all things, committing to a partnership with spirit. This card reminds you that you are more than a person trying to get ahead and make things happen for yourself and others. You have an immortal soul and are gifted with a human life through which a higher power can express itself. At this time, you need to be conscious of your connection to spirit and foster it through prayer and meditation. Ask, what is the highest good for all? How can I serve? Then get out of your own way and trust that there is a plan for your life more wondrous than you can ever know. You are always protected and divinely directed. Boom. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Higher power, that's who you actually need to be humbling yourself before right now. Ask for help. Pray, meditate, get divine wisdom and guidance, or ask that the right people be sent to you that you can learn from. And some of you, I feel, really need to know this, that growth is not always pleasant, meaning it doesn't always feel good. If you're sitting there waiting for all of this abundance, joy, wealth, success, your next breakthrough, your next love relationship, your next, you know, it's going to require that you grow, that you discipline yourself. You know, in the example I used with the elementary school student becoming a middle school student, you know, they don't hold your hand in middle school like they did in elementary school, and then likewise in high school, and then in college. You know, they're not holding your hand like they did in elementary school and saying, okay, everybody, let's line up, let's go to the bathroom, okay, it's lunchtime, everybody, okay. You know, they're not doing all of that. It's going to require some discipline and structure for yourself in order for you to have the outcomes that you want. So be like the Page of Pentacles, who's willing to humble herself, himself, and do the work, and strategize and get the help that is needed so that they can advance and move forward. All right, so that is your reading for this week, January 12th through the 18th. Make sure you comment your card selections down below by Monday, January 13th, in order to be entered to win our January giveaway. Make sure you click all of the links down below that I mentioned earlier. Get on the Get Resolution Power, because that enrollment period closes at the end of this week. Watch all of the videos that I mentioned at the very beginning here And make sure you book your own personal reading. These readings are very general for anybody who makes these card group selections, but you can book your own personal reading at the link, one of the links in the description box down below, and leave a love offering or a donation. No donation is too small or too big. It's really just about reciprocity. So leave a love offering if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks for watching. All right, greetings and welcome to the results for card group number 3. I will quickly go over the announcements just in case you were one of the ones who skipped ahead. Make sure you comment your card selection by Monday, January 13th to be in the running to win our January giveaway. Each week that you comment your card selection by the Monday after the video post, your name is entered to win an additional time, so that increases your chances of winning. Make sure you do the 3 things that I asked you to do, or I encourage you to do at the very beginning, which is number 1, click the link down below to register now for my Resolution Power Masterclass. The open enrollment period for Resolution Power is January 12th, this week, January 12th through the 18th. And after this week, it goes away. Resolution Power is a masterclass that I designed to teach you how to create real resolutions that actually manifest. And the reason why most resolutions don't manifest is because most people are not creating real resolutions. So I teach you how to do that, and I share some personal stories from my own life in that masterclass. Also, if you missed the live, the Facebook live taping of my annual reading of the year, I just uploaded that video over to YouTube, and so that link is down below. The annual reading of the year is where I use astrology, oracle, tarot, as well as my own intuition to help us to all know what we should be doing and preparing for in the upcoming year, which is 2020 this year. So make sure you watch the annual reading of the year. That reading will be very relevant to us throughout this entire year. And then also watch my video, Everybody's a Capricorn, including you. Every time we enter into a new zodiac sign, I do everybody's a fill in the blank sign, including you. And so since we're in Capricorn season, the video that is up now is Everybody's a Capricorn, including you. And it doesn't matter what your sun sign is, because we're in Capricorn season. That is Capricorn is the one that's teaching us all the lessons we need to know. So in that video, I go over everything, about Capricorn energy and the lessons that it has for us. And then I also go through each sign from Aries all the way through to Pisces and tell each of the 12 signs what they should be doing right now during Capricorn season. Also click the link for to book a personal reading, to get my book, The Magic of Self-Love, and to leave a love offering or a donation in support of this channel. This is free work that I'm doing here on YouTube. This is a labor of love. But if you want to support this work because it is benefiting you in any kind of way, then feel free to leave a love offering. No donation is too big or too small. And then follow me also on Instagram and Facebook. Those links are down below as well. All right, so the gemstone that you all received on the top of your deck, oh, that's pretty in the light, is a tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is one of those stones. I always tell, I always have like this list of stones that everybody should have at least one of. And I believe that tiger's eye is one of them. Because it's one of those stones that is said to, attract good luck into your life, good fortune. It's also one of those stones that is used as protection. So it helps to protect you from unwanted or low vibration energy. Historically, it was actually used by warriors, carried on them as a stone to help protect their person, their actual selves. And so it is a stone of protection, but it's one of those stones that also helps to spark your creativity, to spark that creative side of you as well, and to pull the creative energy out of you. And that is perhaps why it also helps to bring good fortune, luck, abundance, and whatnot, because creativity and fortune and abundance and all of that vibrate on the same frequency, if you will. So tiger's eye is really good for that. So you know what I always tell you to do? If you want to know more about this stone, then guess what? Google tiger's eye. Okay, so this week we are looking at what you most need to know, do, and be aware of as it relates to how you should be humbling yourself and disciplining yourself so that you can have the success and the outcomes that you desire for yourself. And so this card here comes from a goddess energy deck. And so the goddesses speak to us all, whether we are a man or a woman, whether we believe the goddesses actually existed or not, it doesn't matter. It's about the lessons that they provide, that their stories provide for our lives. And so the goddess that chose to speak up for you or to you this week, wow, oh, I haven't seen her in a while in a pick a card, is Shakti, the goddess Shakti. So she is the one who chose to speak up to you on how you should humble yourself and find discipline in order to have the outcomes that you desire for your life. As you see on this card, the goddess Shakti is the key word that is down here is transformation. And she is, in the Hindu tradition, is very much connected to creativity, which is very interesting that you got this tiger's eye. But she's part of creation. She is the energy, if you will, of creation, that spark of energy that was required for the whole universe to be created, and is required even on our individual lives for us to have to tap into our creative selves. And so I will read two messages from her. The first is her empowerment message, and then the second one is her alignment message in case you find yourself out of alignment with her empowerment message. So the empowerment message says, wonderful change is afoot in your life when the Hindu goddess Shakti comes to support you. All your longing, desire, and focus on something better in your life, coupled with your willingness to do the work, has ignited the life force energy of the great goddess. She responds now to bring you your heart's desire. Know that now is the perfect time to move into the highest version of yourself. Are you ready for this change you so badly wanted? Everything depends on how honest and clear you have been and how willing you are now to explore other ways of being authentic in the world. You have the magical, feminine, divine energy of the creator goddess Shakti to help you when you become open to doing things differently. You are stepping into your destiny. Do so wisely and without guile, and you will be amazed at the way your world awakens with breathtaking beauty. Wow, that's very interesting, because I was just saying how, this week is about humbling ourselves and walking in discipline. And it's like being in alignment or doing the work that puts you in the perfect position to get what some people would say is good luck, right? That's what Shakti is kind of saying, is that, what does she say? When you do the work, then coupled with her own energy, of the energy of creativity, the energy of, the right opportunities being open to you, those two together create a sincere powerhouse, create a sincere, not sincere, but a powerful door for you to walk through. So, but you have to be willing to do your part, and then that creative energy flows in alignment with you. And it is also, when I say that, I want to be very clear, it's not about you doing the work that you can't do, right? So, you know what you can and what you can't do. And what you can't do, then the Most High, God, the universe, however you define it, then does its part in support of what you can do. So you do your part, and then you allow the force of creativity and transformation to do its part for you. So the alignment message says, Sometimes people and situations come into your life as the kind of change agents that turn your life upside down. What you thought was real and expected is challenged by someone else's perspective or behavior, which you have no control over. This can be painful and deeply confusing, but the creator goddess Shakti wants to offer you her guidance. Can you see how everything that is off balance is serving you now, helping to open old wounds so they can finally heal? You know you are seeking this change, this magical metamorphosis for a better life for you and your loved ones. Right now, your alignment task is to love that part of yourself that sabotages your efforts to move forward. Love the insecure you, the one that is jealous, the one that sees not enough when the world is truly full of potential. Life loves you. The feminine aspect of the universe, the great goddess herself, all of your angels and your guides and helpers remind you that you came here as a spiritual being, learning to co-create the world anew. So again, everything is actually working for you. Even the things, sometimes we don't feel encouraged to do the work, to move forward, to actually put in our effort because we're like, what for? Why should I do all of this if it's no guarantee that I will win, that I will have the outcome that I want, that I'll heal? But the goddess Shakti is reminding you that there is more than enough waiting for you. There's more than enough blessing. There's more than enough opportunity. There's more than enough healing that is indeed possible for you. So you have to stay encouraged that it's almost like I'm seeing, how they say our bodies renew themselves every 7 years, or our skin cells are constantly falling off because new ones are being born. You have to believe that that's kind of what life is like. New opportunities, new ways of healing, newness is always flowing into your life all of the time. And so you have to trust that that is possible. And again, I want to remind you, just in case, if there are men watching or people who identify more with the masculine, when it says the feminine aspect is not counting you out. We all carry the masculine and feminine energies within us. So that feminine aspect of creativity, if you look at her, she's got her eyes closed, but she's tapping like her third eye. She is seeing. That is very feminine energy, to see what is not being seen, to be intuitive, to trust that there are unseen forces working with your seen action. So even what you can see is being assisted by what you can't see, and that requires you understanding even how your subconscious mind is working, walking, the saying, walking by faith and not by sight. That's a very feminine principle to go by what you cannot see. Requires a strong intuition. And so many of you may have to discipline yourself this week by learning to trust your intuition and learning, doing what is necessary to harness your subconscious mind, harness that power of your subconscious mind, and not allowing fearful beliefs, limiting beliefs, excuses, or whatever to be the loop that your mind is on at all times. So you have to make a conscious and disciplined effort, and this may be the work that this goddess was talking about that you have to do, making a conscious and disciplined effort to train your mind to truly believe that anything is possible. All right, so that is the goddess that came to speak to you this week. You know what I always tell you to do: Google this goddess Shakti if you want to know more about her, because each of the goddesses have their own stories and mythology that is designed to give us further clarity and wisdom and guidance going forward. Just 1 second. I've got something. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so The cards that are on the bottom for you here, the one on the cards here, the one on the bottom represents where you are now, your general energy and wisdom. The card that crosses it lets you know what can help or hinder you at this time. So you receive the Knight of Pentacles, and it is crossed by the Fool. The Knight of Pentacles, and it is crossed by the Fool. So the Knight of Pentacles is definitely a card of consistent work, consistent effort, consistently. It's funny, I made a post on Instagram today that said show up every day, and I talked about the importance of, every day doesn't have to be, major milestones, but if you show up every day, you will eventually have those major milestones. And that's what the Knight of Pentacles is all about. He's about doing his work. He knows that this pentacle, this gold coin, the gold coin representing either actual money or outcomes or resources or whatever it is that you're wanting for your life, comes from being consistent and doing the work and not shying away from the work and not being discouraged by the task of the day. The Knight of Pentacles lays a firm foundation, meaning creates strategies and plans. He plans for his success. He strategizes for his success, and then he gets to do the work. He makes a plan and then he executes it. So that's what the Knight of Pentacles is telling you or encouraging you in this moment. Make a plan and execute it. Is do the actual work that is required of you to have the outcome that you desire. What's so interesting though is that he is crossed by the Fool, and the Fool is the first card, or the zero card, if you will, of he's before the first card of the tarot. And the Fool is is not about planning, really. He's kind of the opposite of the Knight of Pentacles. The Fool understands that there are some things he's okay with not knowing everything. He's okay with not having a full strategy. He's okay with kind of just letting the wind take him wherever he wants to go. He's okay with just going with the flow. And I oftentimes really like the Fool, but with him crossing the Knight of Pentacles, I want to heed you all to say, or give a little bit of a warning here, that perhaps this is a time to learn how to balance creating plans and strategy with also being like the Fool, who kind of lets the wind blow him. He's blown by the winds, meaning, you create a strategy, you create a plan, but you also have to be flexible at the same time to know when you need to take action that is not in your plan, that's not in your blueprint. So you kind of have to do both at the same time. Creating a plan doesn't mean that you can't also be flexible when it's necessary for you to be flexible. In this reading also, the Fool could represent that you have made plans for something that you've never done before. So you're kind of like the Fool because you're on your own journey. You don't know where it ends. You're kind of just, using this creative energy of Shakti and just putting it on out there and seeing what will happen. But you do have a plan for success. You do have a desired outcome. You do have, a basic outline or basic, it doesn't have to be super specific, but a basic plan for where you're going and what you're attempting to accomplish. But because you've never done it before, you're kind of like the Fool. You're just like, I'm gonna give it a whirl and see what happens, So there, the Fool is also reminding you that even if you set a lot of goals this week or whatever, or you have a lot of desires that you want to accomplish, and maybe you have these hard drawn plans or these hard, these set in stone almost goals in your life, and you're determined to do the work and you're doing it. The Fool is reminding you to be kind of lighthearted also at the same time, to make sure that you breathe, make sure you have fun. Maybe that's what I'm also saying, that it can't be all work and no play. And it can't just be all about your goals if there's no pleasure in them. Sometimes we create goals and we have these desires and we have these outcomes. We're like, I gotta get there, right? But the Fool is reminding you to be like, have fun on the journey. It can't always be just about the destination. It has to be about the journey as well. That's what life is about. Life is very dual in nature. Like it's not always just one way, but there's always a flip side to every coin. So on your way to whatever your desired destination is, on your way to whatever goals and plans and outcomes that you have for your life, make sure that you're having fun along the way. Make sure that even if you make mistakes or you stumble, that you take it as a learning lesson. You dust yourself off and you get up and you go for it again, because that's what the fool does. Like, he's not so pressured by life and the goals and desires for his life that he doesn't allow himself to explore and have fun on the way. So create plans, create goals, create strategy, talk to the people maybe who know more than you, who can help you in that capacity, and then just go for it like the fool. You know what I mean? And go for it like Shakti. She, her energy is so creative that she's always manifesting. Her creative energy is like creating what you've never seen before. So the fool kind of reminds you that you might be headed in a direction that you've never seen before, and that is okay. To have fun along the way, create plans and strategy, and then execute them, but at the same time have fun along the way, and be flexible along the way. The wisdom card that you receive, wow, this came up last week. This came up last week for someone too. Or no, I think this might have come up in the reading of, I don't know. It came up last week sometime. I've done a lot of readings in the past week, so somebody got this before. So if it's you, then take heed, because now you're saying it twice. But not for you. And the card, this card often indicates when we could be pursuing something that, as it states, is not for us. And so we have to be aware of that, be sensitive to that. So let me read what this card says. Not for you. A clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. There are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game, and you feel you're just watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates that you are not going to attain what you want right now, that indeed your dreams for the exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. Take heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what is for your highest good. Rejection is God's protection. Something much better that will make you truly happy is on its way. Trust this. So, that kind of falls in line with what I was saying here, is that sometimes we create plans. You might be the Knight of Pentacles, and again, these pick a card readings are very, very general. You're not the only one who selected card group number 3, so you need to take what resonates and discard what doesn't. But you also need to book a personal reading to get a more clear answer specifically for you. But the Knight of Pentacles oftentimes can represent like that hard worker who is just plugging away day after day after day towards their goals and their dreams. So if not for you is really resonating with you, perhaps you are putting your energy and your effort where it shouldn't be, and you're working towards goals that maybe are not for you, or not for you at this time. And that's where the Fool really comes into play, because the Fool is not so tightly wound. Like the Knight of Pentacles is very much attached to every one of his goals, every one of his dreams. But the Fool isn't. The Fool is free. The Fool is like, I'm not attached to anything. I can try a goal or outcome, but if it's not for me, I can let it go and go on another journey, go on what they call the Fool's journey, and try something new. And so this is really a time to use that Shakti energy to go into, when I say your subconscious mind, to your intuition, and ask yourself, all of the dreams and desires that you have, are they really for you? And why do you want them? Especially if you only want them because somebody told you you should want them, or you're pursuing goals only because people told you that you should, or you're looking at somebody else with envy or jealousy, and or trying to copy somebody else. And so then you're not even being your authentic self because you're trying to just figure out who your authentic self is. Then you might want to release that and become more like the fool and let go of whatever is not for you so that you can actually pursue what is for you. All right. And that takes, what do we say this week? It's all about humility and discipline. That takes humility and discipline, especially if you've been working any length of time towards something that you know is not for you, because that takes humility to walk away from it, and knowing that people might be looking at you like, I cannot believe you spent all that time pursuing this and now you're not even, you just quit, you just let it go, or you don't even, you just stop, you know. And so it may require that kind of humility and courage to do that, but only you know how that applies for your life. But have the discipline and the courage to walk away from whatever you need to walk away from, and actually put your energy where it should go. All right, so that is your reading for this week, January 12th through the 18th. Make sure you comment your card selection below by Monday, January the 13th, if you want to be entered to win our January giveaway. Click down below right now for Resolution Power, because this is the only week that enrollment will be open for Resolution Power. So make sure you get that. Watch the annual reading of the year. Watch Everybody's a Capricorn, including you. Book a personal reading. Get the magic of self-love, and leave a love offering or donation if this reading is benefiting you in any kind of way. And make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you will always be notified when new videos are available. All right, until we speak again, I'm wishing you all so much peace and love. So that is our reading for the week of January 12th through the 18th. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you comment your card selection by Monday, January 13th, in order to be entered to win our January giveaway. Make sure that you click the link to get enrolled in the Resolutions Power Masterclass. This is the only week that enrollment for that masterclass will be open for this year, actually. So make sure that you get click down below and get enrolled. Make sure you watch the annual reading for 2020. You can watch that as many times as you need to throughout this entire year to get the wisdom and guidance that you need. Like, subscribe, share, and also leave a love offering or donation if these readings are benefiting you in any kind of way. And then click the link to book your own personal reading. So that is it for this week. And until we speak again, I am wishing you all so much peace and love. Thanks again for watching.